This is my 2016 Iron 883, and today is review day. For a first video, I thought that was the least boring I could do. Well, actually the only thing I can do, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. The seat height is, I think it's like 29, 28 inches, something like that. I don't remember. Very low to the ground. Very nice. It feels comfortable. It's wavy, especially because the front tire is a lot skinnier than the rear. Dips into corners a lot better than any of the other ginormous baggers. So, let's see where we can go. Feels amazing, shifts so smooth. I need to get my clutch worked on, or I need to work on it myself, because I went to the Harley dealership, shout out El Patron, where I got this bad boy, and said it feels gummy. Anyways, review. This has a 883cc V-twin Evolution, which has been around for about ever. Has a 9:1 compression ratio, air cooled, of course, because it has been around forever. Mine is not completely stock. I did do a few things to it, but majority of the like aesthetic and better modifications were done by somebody else that I bought it from. So it does have a cafe fairing and Vance and Hines in the back. I think they're called Twin Splash. Sound very nice. But they are just slip-ons. I want to get the big radius later on. People talk about power a lot with this bike, and that is something I genuinely do understand. It is so slow. I think it's only making around 40-50 horsepower, and for an 883cc engine, that is nothing. Would I want to upgrade, or do I want to upgrade? Not currently, maybe a little later on. I've been looking at Dynas, I've been looking at lowriders. I don't want to get a touring yet, but I might want to get a sport bike. I don't know what kind of sport bike I would want to get though. Just like that. But this is one thing that I will miss if I do get one of those bigger bikes. It handles very well, even on all this rough road. Jesus, love you, California. But it handles very well. It dips into corners. You can bob and weave very easily because of that front tire. I feel like every cruiser needs a skinnier front tire. People that have rode the Indian Scout bobbers that have gone onto the Rogues have said that front tire makes a world of difference. Which I will tell you, it kind of does. It doesn't handle like a short wheelbase, tiny little sport bike, but it handles fairly well. And yeah, just cruising along. Feels good. Feels really good. Going over bumps, it's taking them pretty well. But if you have a year that is, I think 2015 or 2014 down, they don't have the same rear shocks that this one does. But I still bottom it out constantly. There's no way really around that. You will bottom this suspension out. You need to upgrade it. Well, let's give a little acceleration. Second gear pull. Feels really nice. Very controlled, very smooth throttle. But one thing you need to know if you're going to get a heavier bike or a Harley is they don't engine brake. They just don't. I have to ride the rear brake if you're going downhill. They'll slow down just a little bit. Let this guy go. Ooh, bumps. They'll slow down a little bit, but if you're not revving it to the moon, it's just not slowing down like your metric bikes, metric cruisers. Coming to a stop. Squeaky little brakes. Oh, gal. Takes off fine. Feels nice and wavy. Going over bumps feels fine. Easy to avoid any rough patches, potholes. You won't find yourself having to yank on this thing too much. Going through this corner, leans for you very nicely. Or turns upright. If you're looking for a lax bike, this is the one to get. If you're looking for a nice car, that's the one to get. Damn. As you can see, I'm barely slowing down. I might as well just let off the throttle at that point. Okay. So I'm gonna hop on the freeway real quick to give as fast of a pull as I can, hopefully to give you a taste, and you guys can see how freaking slow this thing is. It'll accelerate up, it will get on the freeway, but if you want a freeway cruiser, I would suggest getting something different. It lacks on power, and you're going to be vibrating yourself to your core. Like right now I'm in 5th. If you stick between 65, you'll be fine. But if you want to go above that, I honestly do suggest getting another bike. But as you can tell, we're keeping up with traffic. If you want to go on the freeway and you have short trips, 100%. You can invest. It is very nice. It is very fun. You're not going to be doing any major pulls, but yeah, it will perform, and arguably fairly well. At the low end though, very nice. Going into this little corner, very nice. Now, the reason I got this specific bike, I was looking at a few, like the Indian Scout Bobber was something that I really wanted. This one was in my price range. It is a very affordable American cruiser. I love old American cars. They just look, feel, and sound amazing to me. So naturally I started looking at cruisers, American cruisers, because I think they look and sound amazing to me. And ever since I got rid of my older car, I've been wanting to feel some of that classic energy. And this Sportster, by far, the best one to feel that on, because it's older than everybody. The motor is tried and tested, super nice. The handling, it's not for track days, but it feels super good. At idle, it feels nice. Finding neutral for the first time, because this was my first bike. Finding neutral, dear God, I couldn't do it to save my life. I would have to turn the bike off almost every time, because somehow it's easier to find when the bike is off. I don't know how that works. Mechanics, hit me up. I'd like to know. But I have the bike leaned on my shins right now, so I'm not rolling back, I'm not on any of the brakes. Doesn't feel that bad. Feels fine. Feels good. Now that begs the question, should you get the Iron 883 as a first bike? Yes, as a first bike, I would highly recommend the Iron 883. It's not balls to the walls. The power is there when you want it to get some long-term fun, but it's not enough to throw you off the rear. It's light enough to throw around and learn how to handle, learn how to countersteer, learn how to lean with your bike. For more experienced riders, you might want to get the 1200 if you're looking at a Sportster, because it's if you're going on the freeway, it's pretty bad. If you're wanting more power to play with, more power to pass people, just more convenience, you should probably go with the 1200. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run, and it'll give you a lot more long-term fun. You can work on a 1200 just like you can work on an 883. If you want an 883 to bore it out, go for it. That's what this bike is for. It is for the people that want to learn how to ride a bike and want to learn how to wrench on a bike. I've never installed lights and done electrical on a bike, and I installed some front lights, some blinkers, because I didn't like the bulky stock ones. I knew it was my first bike, so I got a crash bar. Very comfortable. You can put your feet up. Feels very nice. And that was such an easy install. There's very small things on this bike you can do to personalize it and make it feel like your bike. It's not just another Harley. That's the thing that Sportsters do great. For having this bike out so long, it does so great. And yeah, that about wraps up how I feel about the bike. But I'll find a place to park and I'll give you my final thoughts. Let's go, let's go! Woo! Woo! I'm only going 40. Yeah. Way better than a Ducati, just saying. Okay, so found a place to stop, but final thoughts. This bike is for beginners that want an American cruiser, something that rumbles, something that feels comfortable, something that rides old school. That's for that type of beginner. And for more experienced people, look into getting the 1200. You're going to want that power. I wanted the power about 4-ish months into it because I started off pretty slow. It's my first bike and I didn't want to dump it. I don't think anybody wants to dump their first bike. I don't think anybody wants to dump their newest bike. But yeah, so make sure to like and subscribe if you did like this video, and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified anytime I upload. I post shorts, and I have an Instagram at @CurCruisin'. Thank you. Have a good one.